Legend of Total War here, and today we're doing another legendary first 20 turn early game mastery guide. This time I'll be covering Bretonnia on Mortal Empires, once again of course on Legendary Difficulty.
Warrior King.
This was the top rated comment in the previous video, so if there's a particular faction or race that you would like me to cover in the next one, make sure to post a comment down below. Let's get into this. Okay, so we start off with a fully consolidated province right off the bat. Now, once again, you've still got the -8 difficulty level public order penalty, but since we're not going to be farming revolts here, I mean, you can, but that's not what we're going to do. Pop down the Venerate the Lady commandment so that we can basically just negate all that penalty and just not have to worry about a revolt. Now, we start off with a damsel, and the trait that she starts off with is random. She got fleet-footed, which is not really what we want. It'd be best if she was either knowledgeable or disciplined. Now, you can restart the game to re-roll that chance, but you don't have to. I'm not going to in this particular instance, but if you really want to micromanage it, you can. So, attach her to the army. And the first thing we're going to do is take Marienburg.
Cleanse our land.
We start off with a really strong army at the beginning. And if you do all the steps just right, you can just reach Marienburg. Because every time you gain a victory, you sort of gain just one free movement. And that'll be just enough to inch us over here. So this situation here, all we have to do is win. This army here will get wiped out. We want to try and take absolute minimal casualties. Because it's not this turn that's going to be difficult, but the next turn, if we take too much damage. So just be mindful of that. You really want to minimize damage.
Spearmen at arms. Peasant bowmen.
Okay, we want to make sure that we're out of range of their mortars at the start with the main infantry line. So we're just out of range there. And we'll probably want to send Lewin Leoncoeur to harass them. And I'll want these ones here to take out those mortars. And these two to start wheeling around the back there. We don't want their missile units to come anywhere near our army. Okay, if we can give this guy a bit of a horse sandwich, that should make him break pretty damn quickly. We don't want Leoncoeur taking too much damage because we need him in subsequent fights. But he's been good at keeping them back. Cool. Looks like we only took 2 casualties. Good stuff. Not gonna... Actually, no, I will take the ransom. Because we're gonna need that initial capital. So, we need to come up with a goal for what we want to do by the end of the 20 turns. What I would like is to have destroyed Marienburg, the faction. Want to consolidate the province. And we want to get Leoncoeur leveled up, you know, to a good extent. And we're going to have to deal with these guys here. So, first turn though, let's just take Marienburg. A little bit damaged. Let's get Root Marcher and then move down to here. So the balance of power isn't great, but in all honesty, we might be able to get it out of this without even taking a single casualty. Some people might call the way that I do sieges cheesy. You don't have to siege this way, but it's entirely up to you. Sending these guys to rush in against the walls before you've utilized the artillery right at the start, to me, makes absolutely no sense, but, you know, you do whatever you want to do. What we're going to do here is take out the 2 towers there, have them shoot at the heroes because they're really inaccurate against them, and while that's going on, send these guys around the back to take out missile units. As long as there's no halberds up on the wall, there's nothing to be concerned about. The swordsmen aren't exactly going to do a lot of damage. Looks like we already took some damage there on the charge. Maybe one of the stray shots with the artillery hit them. It's okay to take a little bit of damage, just try not to take too much. Okay, now there's actually quite a few units up here, and there's halberds right there, so we've got to be careful. If we're going to hit and run them... Come on, fly. Good, no damage. They're still... Are they shattered? They haven't shattered yet. Because once we've got rid of all their archers, then we can bring our archers up and they just can't do anything about it. With the remaining ammunition that we have left, just target whatever we can. Maybe even try to hit them up on the wall here. Getting the charge in those halberdiers would be good if we just get them to break, then get back up, and then charge again at the swordsman. I reckon we can just do a cycle charging with the Pegasus Knights now to finish the rest of the battle. Could sack it, but we're not going to have enough movement to sack it and occupy it. And also, I don't want it to go down to tier 1, so we'll just occupy it. So, what building remains? Let's have a look. The Cinnabar mining pit. I would have preferred it if the cavalry barracks had remained, but that's not bad. Just have to deal with it.
Do you know
okay, let's get
Welcome to fair Bretonnia.
some trade agreements sorted, because now we've actually got some trade resources. It's
Bretonnia.
worth a
Now
bit.
is the time to unite. Yes?
We have to start preparing for this battle here. Like I said, I would have preferred it if we could have recruited some cavalry here, but it's not essential. We don't have to do that. What we want to do, upgrade this. I'll definitely want to keep that. Actually, no, I won't. Get rid of that. Grab that. It's worth a lot of money. Then, start recruiting lords. Unlike every other settled faction in Total War Warhammer, the Bretonians don't suffer from supply line issues. So, you can have as many lords as you want with no increase in upkeep. It's one of the things that actually makes Bretonnia kind of overpowered.
Protector of the realm.
So what we're going to do with him is he's going to recruit... Let's see, we've got a capacity for 5 units. He's going to recruit
It shall be
4 archers. We're also going to recruit another general here. It's because it's essentially just
Do you know who I am?
a strong unit that'll come and help us in battle. Now that's... I can only recruit 2 generals this turn, but we'll recruit another one next turn. Alright, we can upgrade this. Do it. Okay, so the plan here is next turn we capture Grungzint, and then 2 turns after that capture Gorsel, and then basically farm revolts in here like crazy until this is consolidated. Alright, so in terms of technology, we're definitely going to want confederations, but not right this very second. Instead, let's try and get growth going so that we can get these places geared up very quickly. So you got the greenskin incursion here. Now, one strategy is to actually let that stay and just farm the rebellions in the territories that you start off with. But since these guys are going to be a massive pain in the ass, I think it's best to take it out. Now, if you're playing as someone like Alberic, then maybe leaving that there is actually beneficial. But for Lewin Kerr, I think it's better to get rid of it. So, let's start our setup. These guys here are just going to come in as reinforcements. If you could...
of the realm, Lord and hero.
I want to bring him to here.
Glory awaits.
And bring him in by force march and provide them over here. That way that the units aren't actually on force march. Only him. And then bring him in about here so that hopefully he can participate in the battle. Yep. Now we could go straight for the city, but we want to try and get as many battles out of them as possible so that we can gain experience.
Right.
Now they've got a Doomdiver catapult coming in with that first army. So with the reinforcing army. So we're definitely going to want to take them out as soon as possible. As for these guys, keep them as far back as possible, because we're going to mess them around for quite some time before the main fighting begins. Also, the further back we are, the more exhausted the enemy troops are going to be when they arrive. So try to kill the enemy general before their reinforcements arrive would be good. Let's do this. Because it's on Legendary Difficulty, your archers are going to be far more useful to you than spearmen at arms. So that's why we focus on recruiting them, not so much. They're just there to hold the line, which at this stage here, generals can do it just as well. So they're just going to get a start on it. Lewinker is going to do a lot more damage. Anyway, we need them to... Here's the Doomdivers. Gotta go sort that out.
Take the ground! For the lady! Hastily!
Hard to dodge these shots, so we gotta move
With haste!
quickly to get rid of that Doomdiver.
Immediately!
Alright, Doomdiver catapults are gone. Now we gotta somehow try and get up. Alright, everyone might have to issue the order multiple times, because if one person's still on the ground, the others will try to come back and try and save them. Just, as far as I'm concerned, these guys here have actually already done their work. Just get them up off the ground now. Just got to keep issuing the orders. See how they're trying to come back? Stop that from happening. Okay. Took a lot of damage, but it'll be okay. There was a... Sometimes you just have to make a sacrifice. They're not going to get wiped out. Alright, so we want Leoncoeur to be tanking them within range of the artillery. No point doing it out here. There's also these guys, they can come in and help. Now we need the cavalry to be taking out the enemy missile units, so we sort of sneak around to get at them. Okay, no more melee units protecting them. Now's the time to charge in. I'm going to charge at them in this direction so they charge away from here, not into the troops. Ah, see, that's where the general is. Right. Slowly inch our way up. This is a great blob for us. But we are taking a lot of damage. Like, it's winning us the battle for sure, but at what cost? That's the thing. Try and run down as many of them as we can. These guys here, best off trying to kill the general. I don't want to have to fight him again. Because we still have to fight these guys one more time. So, as a tank, some more hit points would go a long way. Same with melee defense, but it's fine. We're certainly going to want him to be a good, strong fighter. Now, when we played as the dwarves, I went down this line here. But whilst we definitely will want to go down here later down the track, right now, I don't want to. We're relying so heavily on our heroes, and we don't need Lightning Strike. Because we're not up against hordes and hordes of enemies. It's more a case of one army every now and again.
Do you know who
Plus, we're
I
going to
am?
want to make sure we have our reinforcements, and Lightning Strike denies reinforcements as well.
I shall prevail.
Yeah, they'll all come in as reinforcements. Alright, let's do this.
Smite them.
Alright, they're not well defended. Go over there, get rid of those Doom Divers. Both of these guys here have to stay out of the fight this battle. But luckily, the enemy's significantly weaker than us this time, so it's fine. Alright, start bringing in the cavalry, take out the missile units, and everything's looking like it's going to be fine. Most of these guys here are just going to die before they even reach the front line. Now, as I've said before, one of Bretonnia's biggest weaknesses, probably their biggest weakness, is actually the fact that they can't replenish very quickly. So, damaged units like this are going to take quite some time to heal. There's no technologies and no traits that we can get to upgrade their replenishment. The only thing that we could do is defeat the Fey Enchantress. So we're going to sack it first because I need the money. Doesn't matter that much about the chivalry.
You seek the
And
lady's
then we're going to
favor.
cap this.
I shall prevail. King Louis Leoncoeur.
And these two are going to stand out here.
My strength and wisdom are yours. Moving out.
And we're going to recruit another general. I usually don't hire the prophetesses, just because I feel like putting in a damsel in the army is actually better. And you want someone who eventually can get on the hippogriffs. So I should have done this in the first place, but I forgot. Pledging to chivalry is usually the way to go, because it's the first one that can usually get done. 5 technologies takes a while. Yeah, they're most likely going to level up before anything else. Okay, we've got a barracks here. We certainly want to make use of it, because we're going to make a big push to Gorsel next turn. Try and take him out. If we're picking up the reinforcements from here, so there's 4 units, so that is essentially making that 17, so we need 3 more units of spears. And that'll just keep our peasant limit in check. Alright, so we need to get over here quickly before lots of damage is done. Probably shouldn't have taxed this over the last turn, but it's not that big of a deal. Alright. So stand there. Him in.
Glory awaits.
And there's our full stack. Now, we could technically reach here next turn, but what I'm going to want to do is actually force march, because I want Leoncoeur to actually be coming back next turn. So stand here.
Armored in
He
faith,
comes with.
going forth.
Lord of Bretonnia. Blessings of the lady be
Yeah, they're
upon
just
you.
all coming with.
Very well, if you insist.
No one's going to
You
get any
take me for a
replenishment.
churl.
Doesn't matter.
Champion
Okay.
of the lady.
Now, we don't actually want
Honor
Leo
before
and Leoncoeur
glory.
to make this attack, because we need to get him back quickly. So instead what we want to do is have one of these guys make the attack. This guy here is at full
Blessings
health.
of the lady
Let's
be
have him
upon
do it.
you. Honor
We also need
and
to make sure in
glory.
the battle that these other two guys here die. Whilst we could farm them for more experience, I need to get back to the other settlement.
Pious. I go thither. Guardian. Taking my
This
lead.
will finish off Marienburg,
The ladies.
hopefully once and for all.
Slay them! Death to the enemy!
Did his vow, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's do this.
To victory!
Balance of power even. We might be able to snipe these guys before they get in with the rest of their army. There's no hope for them. We've got a far superior tactical army. We'll be fine. So they're over here playing a little bit of Bretonnian polo. But normally when the Lords of Bretonnia play a game of Bretonnian polo, they do so with a peasant as the target, not a priest of Ulrich. We're all set up, ready to go. Let's start moving down the hill a little bit. We've also got access to Wind Blast, which is really good for what we need to deal with here. Good, he's dead. So these two here, keep them in reserve. And these two will be decent tanks. Only use them in a desperate situation. And use him first before this one, because he's just too badly damaged. Right, that's the guy there, I think that needs to die. This one here will die no matter what. Send him in. Alright, go wide, go around. We'll be taking out the missile units. And I might even have the damsel come over here and tank it just a little bit. Because these guys here, their replenishment rate is just too low. We don't want her to go into combat with a general. She'll get wrecked way too quickly. But she can go into combat with swordsmen. Okay, I don't want to shoot my own cavalry, so shoot over there. Leoncoeur has taken a lot of damage, but with the charge in there, cause a bit of a mass rout. Okay, enemy general's about to die. But we have to take out the other one, sort of more importantly.
For the lady. For the lady.
This one here. Which we can just, as soon as they break, we'll just send these guys to go run them down. And take that out. These guys can stop firing. I don't want to get any friendly fire. All we have to do is take out this dude and then that'll just end Marienburg. Yeah, we can afford to sack and occupy it. I'm pretty sure it's at tier 2. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need the cash. Don't worry about the chivalry. We'll be getting that
My
way up really soon.
reputation precedes me.
Protector of the realm.
I'm gonna have this guy stay behind because he's badly damaged, and everyone else is gonna get moving. So that's the end of Marienburg, and any revolt will happen over here. So we can more or less leave Gorsel undefended. We could recruit some more troops, but we've already got a full stack, so just leave it. Now, Leoncoeur needs to force march back to here. Now, I could put him inside the settlement for additional replenishment, but that would also increase the public order, and I don't want to do that, because we want it to revolt. Get these guys over here as well, and we'll make it just in time for the revolt. Okay. This is why we need the money. We need growth up in here, and we also need the windmill, because just go total ham on that money. So at this point here, you could simply say, okay, this is as good enough as the guide is needed. Okay, Marienburg's gone. You've got the province of the Wasteland, which is one of the richest in the game. This is secure. You've got a decent army. You know, you don't need this region. But the rest of the guide now is more about leveling up the characters rather than gaining territory, because it's going to take some time before we can consolidate this. Sure, we could put down this, and that probably will maintain public order for the most part. But it would be better, I think, if we go with the Peasant's Duty and try to focus on growth more so than public order. And again, farm some revolts. This one here will revolt more often, but Marienburg will revolt every now and again. And we could just use it to level Leoncoeur very quickly. Okay, so the remainder of the 15 turns that we'll spend on this guide here will be spent defending these territories and leveling up our characters and consolidating, growing these regions up. If we want to expand at this point, we just use confederations. We don't need to go to war with the Empire. We don't need to go to war with Middenland or Nordland. We don't need to go to war out that way, because going to war this way would just draw ire from Norska, and whilst we will get invasions from Norska, so will they, and so it'll spread out their efforts. You just don't see them quite as often. Eventually, what's going to happen is once we confederate down here a little bit, this is talking way ahead, well beyond the 20 turns. Once you've confederated Artois and Lyonesse, then of course you take out Mousillon, be easy enough. Do Bordelot and Paravon, and then you finish off the Skull Smashers here. Now then when it comes down to Carcassonne, however, you don't confederate them right away. You smash up the Fey-Entrantius with as many generals as possible to get the Witchfinder general trait. It is the only way to get additional replenishment, and you'll see you really will need it. Then once you've got maybe 6-7 generals, however many you think you're going to need for the rest of the campaign, then you confederate the Fey-Enchantress. But until then, just keep bashing her up. You'll lose a lot of chivalry, but you'll be fine. Anyway, so we're going to have a revolt here. Now, there's a couple of things that we can do about that.
Do you know who I am?
We need to sort of know where the revolt is actually going to pop up. It can't pop up anywhere within this zone of control, right? So what we do is,
Warrior King.
we get Leoncoeur and we put him here.
I take my
right?
leave.
Put him in camp stance. We don't want to go in here, because for one thing, he might increase the public order in the province, which by the way, might as well tax it. And the other thing is that his zone of control overlaps with this one. The vampires, because it'll be a vampire revolt, will likely pop in right there, but because of his zone of control, they won't actually be able to attack Grungzint without attacking him first. Since they're not an actual faction, they won't attack, withdraw, and then attack Grungzint. They'll wait until they're strong enough to take on Leoncoeur. And then these guys come in here to assist. They'll be within the zone of control as well. Put them in camp if you can, but if not, no big deal. Bring this guy back over here. Moving on. So the rebellion will show up. Within our zone of control, they can't do anything about it, and it literally uses up like no movement for us to attack them. Now, we could auto-resolve this, but the thing is, because our army still hasn't fully recovered yet, it's probably be better to just manually resolve these battles. Don't be lazy, because it will grind our forces down just because of our low replenishment rate.
I am the blood of Gilles.
Okay, so
Glory
easy enough
of
there.
Wales.
Go back into encampment. Leoncoeur took a bit of damage, but now that he's rank 6, with each battle he ended up actually recovering during it. Just end up making him tank all the damage. And then we just do the exact same thing again.
Champion of the lady, I assent to your
Every
order.
turn,
For glory!
gaining experience while we do so. Now we've got to be careful about the situation over here, because if I was to attack him, see, we used up more than 50% of our movement, which means getting back here and going back into a camp stance isn't likely going to happen. But if I instead move to here, which will use up most of my movement,
My journey begins.
I could then have one
My
of the other
strength
guys
and
come in
wisdom are yours.
and just launch the attack so that he doesn't have to.
Blessings
Now,
of
another
the
thing is that we're
Lady
probably better off
be upon
auto-resolving this battle here,
Going
because
forth.
that'll ensure that the enemy army is most likely going to get wiped out. Otherwise, we have to pursue them, and I don't want Leoncoeur going out that far, because he has to remain here, or else this settlement here is going to get bloody boned. Get everyone back in their
Striking
positions.
out.
My reputation precedes me. Moving out.
And see, not only are we leveling up Leoncoeur, but we're also leveling up these other 3 lords, which in time, once they've done their vows, will be able to field doomstacks. Right now, they can't have access to knights, they just gotta have peasants. Okay, so here we are on turn 9, and these guys are coming in. Now, I'm not entirely sure what they're doing. They might be threatening the Empire, they might be on their way to Gorsul. Hard to tell. But they're out of range of our forces here, They can't get to us because of the zone of control of Marienburg. It looks like they're going to hit Eilhart, and that doesn't concern me at all. And the Empire probably will eventually wreck them. But if they head over here, we're going to be hard-pressed to catch up to them. And over here, let's level up Langille first. That way it'll get walls. And then it won't take long before we upgrade Cologne. Because we need to start getting this worked up to tier 3. So we need to build the farmhouse there. And we don't need any of the other buildings, the tier 3 buildings right now. Yeah, so they continued attacking there and they failed. Well, we're going to have to clear out this revolt over here, then exempt this from taxation. I'll have to send Leuenkow over here to prepare our defenses. If we come over here by force march, they're not going to attack us. Instead, they'll probably backtrack over to here again. And now, since these guys here just refuse to go to war with them, I don't really have any choice. Until the walls have been built here, we just can't risk them blowing the settlement up. So I've got to force march over here. Like I said, I'm not concerned about them attacking us. They're not coming around this way. They've changed direction again. So that means we can get back here in time to deal with the next revolt. But they could once again come over here. But if they're gonna dick us around like this, it's fine. Next turn, at least the walls will be built. So if they're going to besiege it, it's going to be difficult for them to actually make that attack, especially with such a garbage army. Walls do make a big difference for us. So get back over here and resume taxing. Okay, it seems like the greenskins just went somewhere else, which is fine by me. And we've got another Marienburg and vampire army that we have to deal with. No big deal. Good, upgrading the Marienburg Harbour. It's an expensive building, but the amount of income that comes through is pretty massive. While we have a military presence here, we don't really need to build up the walls, but you can do that if you feel like it's under threat. I don't feel that way. I'd much rather accumulate cash, because as I said before, come the late campaign, you will certainly spend it. Late game Bretonnian is high quality, but also very expensive. So once again, stay in position here, get ready for the Vampiric Revolt, and have these guys come in and assist. And he can raid. And whilst we'll end up losing a little bit of chivalry, it's okay. It'll cause a revolt so that we can gain experience, because otherwise we just don't have anything to do. Okay, so now we've got a problem. We've got things coming in from all sides here. So we're going to have to put a stop to the revolts here now. Alright, get rid of this. Everyone got involved, good.
I ride.
Because now we've got sort of like the final challenge in our first 20 turns. Once we've cleared this out, we're home free.
Blessings of the
Get this one to stay here.
Striking out.
Good, and exempt it from taxation. That'll buy us a lot of time.
King Lewin.
You force march to Cologne.
If you insist.
Yep.
Very well, I go.
I could hire a regiment of renown next turn, and then attack them. And with the additional forces, I don't think they'd win.
By the light of the lady.
And as for this here, I want Leuenkow to stay in here.
Making my way.
That way, if he needs to get to Gorsel, he can. If he needs to get to Marienburg, he can. And this dude here, I want you to come and assist over here. Ooh. Okay, so that didn't go according to plan.
Yes.
These guys are now threatening us here, and they're threatening us at Gorsel. Now, Gorsel is more valuable to us than Grunzint, so I don't want to sacrifice this guy for nothing. This here is like they got past us. If it's the big problem here is that I can't be in two places at once. This army here can beat him, but we haven't got the walls set up, and he'll destroy that city. This city here, not that valuable to us.
Do you know who I am?
Let him go, because there's no way for him to get out. This guy will capture this settlement. Might as well cancel that. No big deal. There'll be a revolt there as well, so he'll have to deal with that on top of it. Good luck to him. Now over here, we want these guys to... We want them to come at us, because I don't want to chase them around forever. I'm confident that I can beat them in battle. But what we have to do is we've got to lure them into a trap. So I need to come and stand over here. In ambush stance.
My journey begins.
To lure them in.
I assent to you.
Now, I could hire the Regiment of Renown, but I don't feel like I need to. I think these two guys here can handle it just on their own.
Protector of the realm, valiant lord.
The biggest downside here is that these guys are going to come in from all over the place. But we could just auto-resolve it. Yeah, we could just auto-resolve it. The odds are in our favor. Oh no, I lost peasants. You know. That's 20 gold.
Lord of Bretonnia.
Now, dealing with them, I don't think peasants are the way to go. So I will actually get... Let's see. I think poison would be better, because it does just as much damage as the regular peasant bowman. But poison damage will slow them down.
If the lady wills it.
I don't want to go over the limit. Now, another thing is that if we want to, without having access to knights, if we want to have a few extra troops, let's hire some generals.
Do you know who I am?
And down here as well.
My reputation precedes me.
And that's the great thing about Bretonnia. No supply limits.
Do you know
No
who
supply
I am?
lines. Are as many generals as we want. Of course, you can only use 4 per army, per battle. But we make do with what we need. Now, generally speaking, regular factions will not attack rebels, even if they're in their way. They're falling for the trap. Don't need to fight that manually.
I will not blight my soul. Onward!
Now, if we had 3 generals, plus the Regiment of Renown unit, and 2 units of archers, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up against 7. The horse archers would do alright against the skin wolves, but the rest of us would have a hard time against the marauders. It's just not worth the risk. It'd be a really micro-intensive battle. Wouldn't be in our favor. Okay. Now here's the thing. I could force march over here. Could take that out easily enough. But then we're not going to be in very good shape to deal with this. And we'll be in force march. But if he blows that up, then I have to restore it from scratch. I don't want to do that.
The king stands with you.
So I'm going to risk it because I just don't feel like this army here is any real threat. The garrison will come out as well.
Attack!
Good minor amount of damage. Now, Lewin Leon Kerr has not got a whole lot of movement,
reputation precedes me.
but we actually have enough to press the attack on him. We'll be on a force march though, that's very dangerous. I could bring him down here.
For now.
Yeah, having a bit of extra oomph. Thing is, it'll be a fight in the underway,
By the light of the lady,
so they're probably going to get wrecked.
I take my leave.
Pious. Yes? Strike them down!
Okay, I wasn't expecting the odds to be that good, so I might just auto-resolve that. A shame about the spearmen and arms, but we were never going to walk out of that one without a few casualties. Unfortunately, I can't replace them until we get Artois. Which is only 2 turns away anyway.
Honor before glory.
Just make sure they're together.
Blessings of the lady be
And what's
upon
probably going to happen
Moving
here
out.
is that this dude is gonna hightail it the fuck out of here. He's just gonna leave. So we could try to prevent this revolt, or we can continue to gain Luenlianker experience this way, which has worked out well so far. It looks like Wulfric the Wanderer is gonna go away. There's no point chasing him.
Your plan is a good one.
Striking out.
It's not as good as the spearmen, but all they're there for is to hold the front line, and peasants, while they're not quite as good at it, they're still a meat shield. Okay, so here we go. Confederation with Artois, and thanks to us accumulating loads of money and chivalry, we can choose which one we want. Personally, I'd prefer to use the chivalry, because you're going to need the money. So we'll demand the fealty. So here we are at turn 20. Now, our income went way down, obviously because we've got too many of these dudes. But before we disband them, obviously get rid of this dude.
Protector of the realm.
To victory!
So that was a bit of a stroke of fortune, I suppose. Oh man, even with both armies, it still says the odds aren't in our favor. That's got to be a load of crap. That's got to be a load of crap. Hang on, let me just double check something.
I must keep
The other
my
army of
holy
mine is
vow.
not a force
No.
army, right? A force march, right? No, it's not. Could bring him down here,
And wisdom are yours.
just to have a bit of extra lord support. Probably got a deck. Norska's gone.
Indulge you. Protector of the realm.
Looks like we'd have to fight that manually, but I really can't see how they think that that's evenly matched. Now, the garrison ones are all going to be damaged, so we want to sort of throw them away right at the start, because more of our reinforcements will come in then. It'd be pretty funny if we did lose this, actually. Alright, these two dudes over here take out the enemy general. Okay, just let him sit there and tank that for now.
Protector of the realm.
Get over there. Try and take out their general. So yeah, we can see that our forces don't really last a long time in combat with them. That's probably why they thought that balance of power is in the enemy's favor. And it's totally fine how many casualties we take, because all this stuff has to be disbanded afterwards anyway. Okay, might be a good idea to start sort of flanking these guys a little bit, getting around their backs. With their general dead, it's going to be victory's in our grasp. Alright. Army loss penalty still not quite inflicted. These guys here on the run. Alright, get them over here, try and shoot into the back of them. There we go. And since they're on force march, they're all going to get wiped out. We're so far over our peasant limit. Income from farms minus 100%. Casualty replenishment rate minus 90% for all non-knight units. So yeah, that's not good.
My
But that's
strength
okay.
and wisdom
Just
are
disband
yours.
the... Hang on, how many peasants? Let's get rid of this one here first.
Protector of the realm.
Yeah, get rid of all of them. We don't necessarily need to
My
disband the
strength and
generals.
wisdom are yours.
We're still over the limit by 15. Got this one over here to do. No big deal. Get rid of him. And there we are. That's the 20 turn guide. So let's do a little bit of an overview of the situation. We have 3 consolidated provinces. This one here can go on Venerate the Lady. Got barracks over here. This will need to be reformed, but that's not a big deal. The whole province doesn't make a lot of money, but it's just easy gained territory. Technology wise, we'd probably want to be getting Lyonese next, and then begin a war against Mousselon. But before that, I would take 4 forces, probably most of our troops, and take out Heinrich Kemmler. That'll stop the revolts from occurring here, and instead let it occur here. And also, it would start getting rid of the vampiric corruption, so we can actually stabilize the province. After that's been taken, you'd move down here and take out Mousselon, because it would only take about maybe 3 turns to finish that off there. That would actually be very easy. Then, as soon as you confederate with this, you'd maybe be 1 or 2 turns late, take out Mousselon, then you've controlled that province. Then you'd, continue the confederations until you've essentially got them all. Now, in terms of overviewing, we didn't have to hold on to Grungzint. We could have blown it up at the start. But thanks to Grung Zint, at turn 20, we've got Leonker here at level 13. We only need one more level up to get him on his Hippogriff Knights. That's a huge advantage that we've got, that all of the other AI Legendary Lords, they're not even close to that point yet. We've also got a ton of other Lords that have more or less got some of their vows completed, moving them towards, the Grail vow. And we've got a huge amount of money, and the provinces are really well grown. And I think we didn't take a single defeat. Let me just double check that. Yeah, no losses on that. So you don't have to follow everything that I've said, but if you follow the guide, more or less, because there will be variations in every single campaign. Not everything is going to go down exactly as it did here. But if you follow the rough plan of what I did, take out Marienburg, take out Grung Zint, take out Gorsel, and then just farm rebellions here and just wait for the inevitable invasions. And then at around turn 20, aim for the annexation of Artois. If you follow that, you'll have a very easy early game playing with Bretonnia. Anyway, that's the end of this particular guide. If there's a faction that you're particularly having a difficult time with on Legendary Difficulty, and you'd like me to do a 20-turn guide on them, leave a comment down below. But also, if you see a comment with that faction already down there, just give that comment a thumbs up, because the top rated comment will be what I cover next. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I post on Twitter more so than Facebook these days. It's just easier for me to get announcements out there. I don't post very often, but when I do, it's usually fairly important when regard to content to this channel. Until the next video, I'll see you next time, fuckers.